welcome. We're live here on YouTube. We're going to be looking at Janette's table today, 5 portals. You may have heard a little bit about this with the Pope opening up 5 portals, and evidently he's done this before 25 years ago. So we're going to see what Janette has put together for us. Go ahead, Janette. It's all yours.
Okay, shalom everybody. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you all get something from this code table that Yahuwah has showed us for such a time as this. Okay, so this is the cover for the presentation, and this shows you it's in Genesis 31:39 to 2 Chronicles 20:21. So it's almost the whole of the Bible there, the Old Covenant, and the skip is 57010. So it's quite a large skip. So I'm just going to lay a bit of groundwork on the things that when I get to present the table, you'll see these things, these words are actually in there. So I'll give you a bit of background so that we know what we're talking about. So Lilith is in the table, and you'll see if you watched my table presentation on Gate of Shadows, it showed you about this mechanical Lilith creature, half woman, half scorpion, that they made October the 25th to the 27th in the city of Toulouse. Will host the urban opera, The Guardian of the Temple, The Gate of Darkness, with gigantic and frightening moving statues, including Lilith, the Guardian of Darkness. So this is their huge mechanical Lilith. There was also a Minotaur, as they say, Asterion, the Minotaur, and Ariadne, the spider. You won't see the spider, I haven't got a picture of that, but that's the Minotaur, which I thought looked like Baal, Molech. And lo and behold, there's also a dragon. And I only found this slide this morning. So look at all the sigils on these things, and don't tell me that they're not casting some kind of spell. So that was in October. Earlier this month, we also had the reopening of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, 5 years after the fire. And that's not the Pope, that's the Archbishop knocking on the door, some ceremony that they had. And all of the world leaders, not every single one, I guess, was there for this ceremony. So starting today, the Vatican is to open 5 sacred portals for the first time in more than a quarter of a century. Pope Francis is preparing to unbrick and open 5 sacred portals, symbolizing the doorway to salvation. Now, straight away, we know that Yahushua is the door. He's the doorway, and Yeshua is salvation. The doors have not been opened for 25 years since the turn of the millennium, so may well be a little rusty. This year, for the first time, one of the doors will be opened in a prison as a sign inviting prisoners to look to the future with hope, the Pope said in his bull of indiction, announcing this year's ceremony. So the dates that all these portals are going to be opened is December the 24th, which is today, December the 26th, December the 29th, January the 1st, 2025, and January the 5th, 2025. This is a map of the area where the 5 portals, doorways, are going to be opened. And this is the sigil of Lucifer. And as I showed you on that mechanical Lilith, they were all like magic symbols and things. People who do delve into the occult and do magic and things use symbols. So I just thought this was really interesting when I saw it, of how alike to Lucifer's sigil, the pattern of the placement of these portals that are going to be opened. So the woman who sits on the 7 hills, Revelation 17:9. An overview. In the Bible, the 7 hills in Revelation 17:9 are associated with Rome, which was known to be built on 7 hills. And here it gives you the names: Palatine, Aventine, Caelian, Esquiline, Viminal, Quirinal, and Capitoline. The 7 heads of the beast in Revelation 17:9 are described as 7 mountains or hills on which a woman sits. The woman is often identified as the Roman Catholic Church or Babylon. The woman represents a corrupt system that influences the world's kingdoms. The mountains, in the Bible, mountains can symbolize strength, stability, and sometimes kingdoms or empires. The 7 mountains in Revelation 17:9 represent powerful earthly kingdoms that oppose Yahuwah. The 7 mountain mandate is a movement that is based on the idea that 7 sectors of society should be transformed to tackle societal change. The 7 sectors are education, religion, family, business, government, military, arts, entertainment, and media. A bit worrying. So the 7 hills of Rome, on which the woman sits. A little bit of interesting information. I'm sure everybody does know, but just in case you don't. This is a sculpture that's in the Vatican, the resurrection sculpture, they call it. A colossal sculpture, measures an impressive 66 foot by 23 foot by 10 foot. It depicts Yeshua rising from the crater of a nuclear bomb in the Garden of Gethsemane. It just looks so horrific, torturous. I mean, why would you put that? Why would you have anything, actually? But also the Pope Paul VI audience hall in the Vatican. This is the head that's on this statue here. You can't quite see it from this angle. So from this angle, this is the side of the head. They've coloured it in green just for this picture. But it looks like a snake, a serpent. And actually the whole building there looks like a serpent with the 2 eyes. And it looks very serpent-like. The Vatican also approved this Molech effigy that was displayed outside the Colosseum in Rome. 2019, November the 10th. I mean, why? To do a child sacrifice. They used to open this, have a fire, put the child alive inside. Anyway, Lilith. Lilith is in the table. She was also mentioned briefly in my Gate of Shadows presentation. Lilith is known as the screeching owl. The Bible mentions the Lilith only once as a dweller in waste places in Isaiah 34:14. But the characterization of Lilith as a seducer or slayer of children has a long prehistory in ancient Babylonian religion. So Isaiah 34:14 says, "The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow, the screech owl, also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest." And definition of Lilith, a woman who in rabbinic legend is Adam's first wife, is supplanted by Eve and becomes an evil spirit, a famous witch in medieval demonology. Jeremiah 7 and verse 18, "The children are gathering wood, the fathers are lighting fire, and the women are kneading their dough to make cakes for the sovereigness, the queen of the heavens, and to pour out drink offerings to other mighty ones to provoke me." So this cannot be Mary, mother of Yahushua, Miriam, as she was not known at the time of Jeremiah. So Rome's Queen of Heaven, many, many statues, always with the moon under her feet, but it's not the one from Revelation 12. It's more the woman riding the beast in Rome's case. Exodus 24. "You do not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of that which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the waters under the earth. You do not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children," sorry about this, guys, of the dogs barking, "to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing kindness to thousands, to those who love me and guard my commands." We've got stray dogs come round, and I was not happy about that. So Samael is in the table, as we'll see when we get to it, and just a bit of history on who Samael is. So Samael and Lilith are both major demons who are often depicted as a couple in Jewish tradition. Samael, the king of demons, angel of death, and arch enemy of Michael, the archangel. He is associated with Mars, the left side, the north, and Tuesday. Samael is said to have tempted Eve into eating the forbidden fruit, and is also associated with other negative acts in Jewish history. And Lilith, as I've already mentioned here, Samael's counterpart and the mother of demons. In others, other than Jewish tradition, she's depicted as seducing fallen angels. And it's all stemming back from there, from Babylonian fallen angels. So I've already mentioned most of this: Christian tradition, archangel, other religions. Samael is also believed in other religions. Etymology: the name Samael comes from the word Sami, there in Hebrew, which means blind. Other names is also known as Samael and Samael. Samael is said to have been the guardian angel of Esau and a patron of Rome. That's interesting. Beliefs about the end of days. At the end of days, Michael will defeat Samael, chain him, and give him to Yisrael for justice. So he's often, as I said, considered a fallen angel, but he remains one of Yahuwah's servants. Yeah.
Also, they're interesting, Janette, that it says, just that one picture back, if you can,
Sure.
just to show it. There in the bottom right, it says that he is uh, an archangel in Talmudic and post-Talmudic tradition. And while we're there, I'll just say that I was just looking up in the book of Enoch because it says in chapter 69, verse 6, and the third was named Gadriel. He it is who showed the children of men all the blows of death, and he led astray Eve. So that's a little bit of a, unless he's got two names, that's a different name.
Yeah, well, they sometimes they did have, didn't they? And they were known in different parts of the world under different names.
Yeah, well, this is Hebrew, and then the Talmudic would also be Hebrew tradition as well. So
Yeah.
maybe a completely different name.
Mm. Well, that's interesting too. The
Mhm.
accuser or adversary, who we know.
Yeah, we know as the Satan or the Satan, but the Satan not being a name, but being, it means adversary. Exactly.
But as it says there, he's compared to Satan.
Yeah, and even one of your slides, I'm not sure if we've come to that one yet or not, but one of them says that that is the same as Satan.
Yeah,
Samael is. Yeah.
yeah, I think we did get there.
Yeah.
So also, and I just remembered this today, that as well as it being Christmas time in the world, it is also Hanukkah for the Jews. And so that would make sense for the Vatican to want to do this, whatever they're doing with the portals, opening the doors. Hasatan, Lucifer, they're always sort of counteracting what else is happening. They mimic, don't they? They do things on at the same time. Like, in the Bible, Yahushua was crucified at Passover, and then it was changed by them to Easter. And Easter, of course, is another deity, a Babylonian deity. So things are embraced and wrapped in. So John 10:22, at that time, the Hanukkah came to be in Jerusalem, and it was winter, and Yahushua was walking in the Kodesh place in the porch of Loma of Solomon. Right, so here's the table. So here is the access term, portals, and here in this pink running one column away is 5. So look how close they are. And it's also here 5 in the pink going horizontal.
Wow.
So we have it there really close to portals. So I'll do my usual. I'll start over here on the left. So in the green, we've got sacrificial, Holocaust, gift, and hesitate, all that with the one have, which when I first saw the word, I put it down because it was sacrificial. Obviously, doing these ritual things, it usually requires a sacrifice somewhere. And that's
Isn't it interesting that it also means the word hesitate?
Yeah.
Like maybe you should pause and think of that.
Yep. Here in the red, we've got Roman. And here in the blue, we've got, and this is it here running horizontal, their brother, okay, with the Aleph, Het, Yod, Hey, Mem. So the Mem here is shared with sacrifices. So this is sacrificial with one spelling, Strong's 813. This is sacrifices with another Strong's number and different spelling. So they're brother and sacrifices. So it sounds like all getting together to do some ritual. Here in this purple, we've got the gate. That's the hay for the gate. Hay, shin, iron resh. And inside the word, the gate, you've got the mountain, two mountain, two actual separate words. So the gate to the mountain, to mountain there. So that's quite interesting. With the turquoise circles, so that when you see this, you know to look for a word with circles. We've got seven mountains. Look at the close proximity of those words. Here, in this green, we've got Rome. So this one was Roman, Reshwa Mem Yod, and this is Reshwa Mem Aleph, which changes it to Roman. In this vertical, in the purple, we've got will come. In this blue, this vertical blue, we've got and they bore children and brought forth, and time of delivery. There's a slide I shall show you when I finish going around the table on this. That was quite interesting. Time of delivery. I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that yet, Darla.
I'll just wait to, you already showed the slide, yeah?
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay. Yeah, then we'll talk about then.
They come after. We've got Beast here in the black circles. In this red, which was an exciting find, it's astrologer, conjurer. It's in Daniel 2:10. It also means wizard, enchanter. So they're up to no good. So that's in these red circles. Here is Samael in this green. And here, beside that word, Samael, is naked, your nakedness. Right? Can you see that? Look how close they are. Your nakedness is going to be exposed. In this turquoise, we've got breath, spirit. So is it going to be given life? In this black with the circles, we've got alignment. And of course, that's what you would be looking for as an astrologer, is some particular alignment. To what? I don't know. It could be something in the heavens, or it could be something else. Could be these three things all coming together with Lilith parading through the streets and all the other mechanical things, the reopening of Notre Dame, and these 5 portals. We shall have to wait and see. In this horizontal, and we shall look at this verse with the underlying scripture when we're finished. The strengthening, the blessing. So it's the blessing, and there's Wa in the middle there, the blessing and the curse. So we've got that running along there. And the word, the blessing, there also means the reservoir. Here in the black, we've got Lucifer. And it also means a shining one, which is interesting. We've already seen that with Samael being likened to a shining one. And the wailing, the howling one, we've also seen that with past slide there with Lilith and Samael. So this is all coming together. They shall come. This is in this blue. Here in the red, we've got the man. And it also means, the man in Strong's 120, same spelling in Strong's 122. is red, rosy. In with the circles again on this turquoise, we've got bound, imprisoned, captive, those who are bound in the prison, captive, or they're going to be. Now, I think they're going to be released. That's just where my name falls there, sharing this yod with the heavens, here with the yellow. We have here violation. I found it, I put it in because it was Euphrates, and of course that's prophetic, with the Euphrates, the angel released from the Euphrates River. So, but with the hay, no, with just the pay resh tar, it's violation. With just the pay resh tar, it's Euphrates. I thought that was quite interesting. Here, again, with the black circles, we've got restrain. So that bound, restrain. Here, we've got queen, but Bonnie followed it up and it said queen and mother and wine. I don't know what would happen if we continued. Now this is where we get really interesting. So this is the access term. As I say, this is 5. Now here we've got in the blue, and it shares the yod with the access term, with portals from those who sleep. And it also means of those who change, repeat. And next to it, we've got he shall come with the yod bet aleph wa. So he shall come. So we've got they come and he shall come. There's Lilith here. Also haunting night demon, that name means. We've got Lucifer again here, and Lucifer shares the yod, which is also shining one, and whale, howl, shares the yod with my darkness, with that yod there. Here in the horizontal, we've got with the circles, will be removed. So now look at this, we've got restrain, restrainer, bound, imprisoned, will be removed. Here with the turquoise, we've got priesthood. And here in this purple, that runs into sacrificial, holocaust, gift, and hesitate, we've got you shall profane. And it's also meaning you will begin and you will desecrate. And this will be removed also means to recede by contact. So, very interesting table with loads of meaning there. So the slides, let's just move you guys down now. So now, my darkness is Strong's 2822, the Hetchin calf yod. Yeah, there's my darkness there. And the other meanings: misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness, night, and obscurity. And in the clines there we've got withhold, restrain, ceasing to be or grow dark. It really just feels as though the restrainer is going to be taken away, going to be lifted. So bound, Yeah, strong 631. The Aleph Samic Resh also means turning away with, no, sorry, yeah, Aleph Samic Resh. And then we've got Aleph Samic Wa Resh, which is turning away. So you've got bound, and it's also turning away with the Wa in, turning away from sin or departing from Yahuwah's commandments. So you can turn one way or the other, towards him or away from him. Time of delivery and bore, to bear, to bring forth, beget, to bear young. Medically, to act as midwife, to show lineage. Or, as we say, time of delivery and gender, hatch, labour. So, for the mystery of lawlessness is already at work, 2 Thessalonians 2:7. And here's 2 Thessalonians 2:5, and I'll run through 7 within the verses. Do you not remember that I told you this while I was still with you? And now you know what restrains for him to be revealed in his time. For the secret of lawlessness is already at work, only until he who now restrains comes out of the midst, and then the lawless one shall be revealed. And I just feel it with everything that's been happening. Just feel that's going to be upon us. John 10, I am the door. Whoever enters through me, he shall be saved, and shall go in and shall go out and find pasture. So Yahushua tells us he's the door, he's the portal to salvation, to Yeshua, to the Father. We don't need doors or portals, they're supposed to be shut. Just him. Luke 10, 19 to 20. See, I give you the authority to trample on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and none at all shall hurt you. But do not rejoice in this, that the spirits are subject to you, but rather rejoice because your names have been written in the heavens. We may have cause to have to remember and use the word to repel whatever darkness is going to be released. We're going to be walking in the light. We are part of his light. His light shines in us. So we must be strengthened by whatever's going to come. Ephesians 6, put on the complete armour of Elohim for you to have power to stand against the schemes of the devil. Because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against authorities, against the world rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual matters of wickedness in the heavenlies. Because of this, take up the complete armour of Elohim, so that you have power to withstand in the wicked day, and having done all, to stand. Stand, then, having girded your waist with truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having fitted your feet with the preparation of the good news of Shalom. Above all, having taken up the shield of belief, with which you shall have power to quench all the burning arrows of the wicked one. Take also the helmet of deliverance and the sword of the Ruach, which is the word of Elohim, praying at all times with all prayer and supplication in the Ruach, watching in all perseverance and supplication for all the Kodesh ones, Also for me, that a word might be given to me in the opening of my mouth, to be bold in making known the secret of the good news, for which I am an envoy in chains, that in it I might speak boldly as I should speak. So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you, Toda, for watching. May Yahushua baruch you in Yahuwah's name. Luke 10:23. And turning to his taught ones, he said separately, Baruch are the eyes that see what you see. For I say to you that many prophets and sovereigns have wished to see what you see, and have not seen it, and to hear what you hear, and have not heard it. And I think a lot of them saw what we were about to see and hear and witness. So where do you want to go, Darla?
Thank you, Janette. Were you going to show us some things on the live table?
I have to close this down, stop share, get on this. I don't know if you want to finish on here first.
Yeah, no, wherever you want to finish to.
This is the finish.
Yeah.
But did you want to look at the table or any of the slides?
I know you said you were going to look at the blessings and the curses, that line.
Yeah, that is the line. All right, I'll finish here then.
Yeah.
The underlying is really good.
Yeah.
Just bring the table up.
And I think it's interesting also to mention that on one of the articles that you shared with us, the Pope was, or the whole five portals thing, it's said to have happened. They're declaring like a jubilee or a middle of the jubilee. Is that correct?
Well, they're declaring these 25 years.
Yeah, so that would be middle. But the interesting thing about that is that it's a jubilee according to their Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
And the Gregorian calendar, I've learned this year, is something that is like copyrighted. So every time we utilize it, we're utilizing something that belongs to them. So if you say January 1, 2025, yeah, that date belongs to the one who copyrighted it.
Oh.
Yeah. So interesting.
They own it. They own their calendar.
Yeah, they own the calendar. So if you use it, you could use it in brackets, and then that means like, you're basically stating it, but you can't be held accountable for it because it's in brackets. It's one of their legalese laws. There we go.
So you can see this now. Okay. You wait till you see this. You wait till you see this. I'll just get that there. Right, where's my list? This is unbelievable. Right, this is the mem that is in the access term. Yeah. Just get rid of these two boxes. Look at this. This is equal 2032. And that which comes into your mind shall never come about, that you say, we will be as the nations, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
To serve statues and idols. I thought that was so cool. And the Yod.
They're so desperate for a hero, like, the super whatever heroes, that they would create these things that they can parade around because they're looking for something bigger to believe in. But yet there is one bigger to believe in. He's in the scriptures.
Yeah.
Told all about him. I
don't know. To me, I just feel that they know exactly what they're doing, and they're like blaspheming Yahuwah's commandment to not do that. Everything that is in Yahuwah's commandment, basically, they've changed it, or they've taken away from the word. How dare you? No.
Yeah, there's a real provoking going on.
Yes, exactly. But now I think we've really they're going to be opening doors that, well, so anyway, here's the Yod in the access term again, Jeremiah 36:3. It may be that the house of Yehuda will hear all the evil which I intend to do to them, that they may return every man from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin. That was pretty cool. The Lamed also in the access term, and then we'll get out of the access term. Isaiah 65:17. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come to mind. Okay, bring this over here. Any of these in here. Oh, okay. So Deuteronomy 30:19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both of you and your seed may live.
Right, and this is in Deuteronomy 30. So just important to know that in Deuteronomy 28, Yahuwah tells us the blessings and the curses. And the
Yes,
blessings have to do with keeping his commandments, and the curses have to do with not keeping his commandments.
exactly. Exactly. Isn't it wonderful how it all fits together?
Yeah.
617, the noon. Where are we? Oh, there we are. This noon. It's in breath, spirit. The word breath, spirit running up here. Psalms 119, 114. You are my hiding place and my shield. I hope in your word.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and we know that Yahushua is the word made flesh. As he says, he is the door to life. And this last one, 639. That's it, the hay on 12. There we go. Jeremiah 36, verse 2. Take a scroll and write in there all the words that I have spoken to you against Israel and against Yehuda and against all the nations from the day I spoke to you, from the days of Josiah, even till this day.
Wow. Janette, what is the first verse on this table? Like where your resh is highlighted.
What do you want me to go to up here?
Yeah, just like where your resh is. Yeah. I was wondering what's the first verse and what's the last verse on your table.
Well, that's Genesis 45:27. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said to them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob, Israel, their father, revived.
Okay. What is the last verse on your table?
Do you want me to go to here?
Maybe up to your last wall.
There?
No, I'm sorry, the last wall in your table that is
Sorry,
marked. Yeah.
the
As
actual.
opposed to getting too close to the end of I just was wondering what that last section is.
Okay, the one there is Second Chronicles, chapter 9, verse 1. And when the Queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon, she came to test Solomon with difficult questions at Jerusalem, with a very great company, and camels that bore spices, and gold in abundance, and precious stones. And when she came to Solomon, she talked with him of all that was in her heart.
So curious. It sounds like there's a sort of a caravan to receive on both ends of your table.
Yes, yeah, one for Joseph and Jacob, and one for Solomon and Sheba.
Yeah, interesting.
It is.
It's very interesting. So sort of like a reception for the righteous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like being met as well. It's like we're not just going to meet one person. It's not just one person meeting another.
Yeah.
Like a whole.
Yeah, there's a caravan of provision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you look at that? You've got a yod there on your axis term that is in the blue color.
Yeah,
Did
I
you look
did.
at that first? You did, okay.
Yeah, I did. I'll do it again. It's Jeremiah 36:3. It may be that the house of Yehuda will hear all the evil which I intend to do
Yeah.
to them, that they may return every man from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin.
Yeah, it's just amazing when you've learned the scriptures that they don't really teach in at least the churches I was involved in. They don't teach that um, there's a whole history and genealogy aligned to us in the Tanakh, the Old Testament, that it specifically ties us to the house of Israel, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, that there is lineage there, and that uh, those houses, those tribes of Israel were hidden among the church. We're not really taught that, so that when you read this verse and you have that understanding, it you could consider that without doing all the research and the study, I could just say, look, you're of the tribes of Israel. He's talking to you. And to come into that understanding is worthy of the time. And we can recommend listening to Jim Staley, the what is the name of the video? The Identity Crisis. There we go.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, we have a few videos. One of them is Joseph Dumond, the 10 Lost Tribes of Israel. So I was trying to conglomerate all that in my head. It wasn't coming out right. So yeah, the Identity Crisis. It's just an amazing video. It's worth spending the 3 hours, even if you can't do it all in one sitting, just to really go through and consume those scriptures and understand how this has to do with you, what it has to do with you. How are you personally being spoken to? Yeah. And yeah, I think it's interesting that uh, the Pope has something he's doing, this big ritual with the 5 locations. One of them's at a prison, and he says that he's done it, or they say in the article they did it 25 years ago. Like who knew? Who heard about that? I didn't hear of that before.
Never heard of that before.
Yeah, yeah. So very interesting what they are doing. You know, they're the ones that have the telescope called Lucifer. I think we could also mention here that Alan Horvath mentioned to us that Hayalel is the actual word instead of what's translated Halel, Ha being a prefix, Hayalel. It's the howling one instead of morning star or Lucifer. Lucifer is actually a Latin translation, and I've seen videos where the Catholics are singing about Lucifer. And obviously, we understand with the King James translation that Lucifer is the name of the fallen demon, the fallen angel. But it doesn't say Lucifer in the Hebrew. It says Hayalel, the howling one. So interesting, we lose so much in translations. But I think we live in very exciting times, very amazing times, and we were born for this generation. We have very specific callings, and so important for us to just be discerning about the events and just cling to Yahuwah, cling ever so tightly to Yahuwah. Know him, know his name. I was just reading, let me see if I can pull it out. I think here it is. Here, let me grab it. I was reading in James 2 yesterday, and it says in he's talking about don't be double-minded, don't be a hypocrite, and it's talking about showing favoritism to the wealthy and the those that are most known, that sort of thing, and don't be showing favoritism to him and look down on the homeless person or the poor person. And it says, do not rich men exalt themselves over you and drag you before the tribunals? Do they not hate that worthy name which is invoked upon you? Like, it's important for us to know which name is invoked upon us. And it says in the footnotes, and I'm reading from the Aramaic English New Testament, it says in the footnotes, the name invoked upon you is Yahuwah. Like, it's important for us to know his name, because how are we going to know what's a demon or one of these mighty ones that they're raising and parading down London and Rome and stuff like that without having an understanding? France, where was the place? Was it Rome or France?
It was France,
It was
Toulouse.
France, yeah. Yeah. So, and then they had the Olympics this year, right?
Yes,
That was
yes.
just wicked vileness.
Yeah, the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony.
Yeah.
There was, as I showed in England, in Birmingham, I don't know whether it was 2022 or 2023, the bull, that big mechanical bull.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And they even had a Trump statue there, they've sent down in the last couple of years somewhere in Europe.
yeah,
It's like all of this bigger than life stuff, but
and
yeah,
a
we can't get
dragon.
the Ten Commandments in the courthouses.
Yeah, and the dragon as
Yeah.
well. No,
Yeah.
they're bringing the dragon into so much.
Yeah. I heard my autistic son Micaiah, who's almost 24, say this week said to me when we were out shopping, said Year of the Snake, and I'm like, okay, I've heard that, but I haven't heard it out of his mouth, right? Like, what does that even mean? So I
Yeah,
went sort of searching, and I guess on the Chinese
yeah,
uh, calendar, constellations and all that, they have this year of the this and the year of the that for 12-year cycles. And so the year of the dragon always precedes the year of the snake. And this is just a normalized 12-year cycle for the Chinese. And they sort of look at they basically post them in the order of a race, the mythical race that they had to the emperor. And so the dragon comes up next, and then the snake. And so I think that's like 5 and 6 or 4 and 5, something like that. And there's like, even though the dragon's a mythical creature and has all these powers, he stopped to help the ones less fortunate than him. So they romanticize the dragon, right? And then the snake is, well, he's this and he's that and the other. Also, he could be cunning. But from the Hebrew scriptures, the dragon is not Tob. He's not good. He's wicked. He's evil. And the serpent is also cunning and deceived, pulled the power away from Adam and Eve, and what's the word? Obfuscated for sure, but overthrew their place, their position. So we don't romanticize it, and the dragon's just so wonderful. We don't do any of that. Like, it's not. Serpents are not in an honored position, and we're born to live in these times where we see 1 year of a dragon and then a year of a snake, and we're not supposed to ask any questions. Like, that's just they're wicked. Those are wicked things in the scriptures. So we need to be in line with the scriptures and wear that name of Yahuwah on us. And I just want to welcome everybody that came and participated today. And shalom to my sister Marie in Australia as well. And Janette, is your mic open? Just checking for you on that. Yeah, there we
Yes,
go.
I did close it because of the dogs.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And also, we want to welcome Christy here in our Zoom room with us as well.
Shalom, Chris.
Shalom.
Yeah, Janette,
That
did you
was
have any final
wonderful,
thoughts?
Dennis. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, Christy.
That was wonderful, Sister Janet. It was awesome. You
Well,
are so talented.
it's not me. I struggle. I do struggle. I get given the codes, but then putting it on, as a presentation, I know what I want to say, but trying to manipulate the computer, Darla knows. But I serve the Creator, and this is it's His work. It really is.
Amen.
Look at how it comes together. I can't do that. Look how you've got bond and binding and prison and restrain and everything. And this is exactly, what's going to be happening with portals, and it's time. I just feel it's time. And I think that's how else is he going to tell us? If you read your Bibles, you will see the signs that are happening all around, the world. But most of us who like the codes, I mean, look at it. I just find it so amazing that the things that should be in there are in there, and even more, even more. I learned so much.
Yeah, we're just in amazing times, and the Father's word is encoded, and it's amazing to see how he leads you, Janette. And I think it's a very important subject.
Well,
portals, and we know that Yahuwah is master over everything that's happening, and he guides our code searchers for certain, and he guides us and gives us discernment. He tells us that we will know which way to go. He will whisper in our ears, and so when we're listening to him, we have that kind of discernment. And so important to develop that relationship and just commit your ways unto Yahuwah. Commit your ways unto him. Yeah, he will direct your path.
Don't be scared. Be prepared. Armor up. Armor up with the word.
That's right. That's right. And it is our honor and privilege to bring Yahuwah's word to you encoded, and with 2025 being just ahead here.
Year of the snake.
Yeah, the year of the snake. And that doesn't happen January 1st, evidently, because the Chinese are on a lunar calendar. So it happens about a month before the Hebrew calendar begins, give or take. Yeah. So we have a bit more time to go before the end of the year, and then Passover will be coming soon. So it's a great time to begin thinking about our participation in Yahuwah's feast, as opposed to all the world feasts on the Gregorian calendar, for instance. You want to be aligned with Yahuwah's word, and he has a whole set of feasts in his word. Leviticus 23, great place to get the summary on that.
And never more so than now.
Never more so than now.
And when things start happening in the heavens and on the earth, and they happen on the Moedim, on the appointed times, they have extra meaning, and if you don't know the appointed times, then you just think, oh, well, that was nothing, and that was nothing. It's like the blood moon, the tetrads, and things that have happened.
Yeah, and we can also point you to creationcalendar.com to learn Yahuwah's calendar, because it's not the mainstream, widely taught calendar we all grew up on. So that means we have to learn it. And it's an amazing calendar, though. Really awesome to watch the the feast and watch what you was doing on these times. Yeah.
And the Moradine.
Yeah. All right. So is this a great place for us to stop, Janette?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, Yahuwah will be with y'all, and we will see you on our next code searching presentation. Shalom.
Shalom. We finished?
Think so.
Yay.
Stream finished.
Okay. Well,